Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Back to School with Maz Jobrani. I'm excited today. We have got a fellow comedian and impressionist on the show, Aries Spears. You guys know him from the Mad TV shows. You know him from the movie Jerry Maguire. You know him from Josie and the Pussycats. You know him from his comedy specials. You know him from all that stuff. So he's going to be here today. He's going to be talking to us about how if you want to be a stand-up comedian, it's good to be well-rounded, have different tools to work with. How if you want to be an impressionist, it's all about listening to the intonations of the person you're doing an impression of. And he's also going to tell us how you can get Barack Obama to pay your rent. So let's go back to school with Maz Jobrani. Maz Jobrani, hey, Jobrani Maz, oh, Maz Jobrani, hey, Jobrani, Mazzy, oh, Maz, hey, I got a podcast, oh, back to school, yeah. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Excited to have you back. I'm here with my co-host, Caitlyn. How are you, Caitlyn?
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. Tehran?
I feel like I can do a Caitlyn impression.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
Hi, how are you?
Where's your Tehran?
I'm working on it.
I feel like
a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I'm here.
No, this is my Tehran impersonation. Allegedly.
Oh, there you go. That was good.
That's good.
Yeah, here's my Tehran impression. I'm black and Persian. That's all I got.
Allegedly.
So, you guys, first of all, I want to tell the fans listening and watching, please keep letting your friends know about this show. Make sure you go on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen or watch, and give us some good ratings so that we can move up in those ratings and more people can discover us. We're going to keep bringing back more and more interesting people that we're going to interview, and just let the world know. Let's do this together, all right? So today we've got a fellow comedian, Aries Spears. Every time I see Aries, if you have not watched Aries, it's A-R-I-E-S, last name S-P-E-A-R-S, Aries Spears. Google him now. Watch him. By the way, little warning, explicit. We're going to be saying dropping some words here. So if you're listening with your kids, now is the time to kick them out of the room. But that said, I'm always impressed with impressionists because I tried as a kid to do some. I remember the song "We Are the World." Of course, "We Are the World," right? I used to try to do all those voices because it was
it's a
like
wide variety.
Yeah, it was like Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson. You know,
you didn't aim low at all, huh? You went for all the greats in one song,
bro. So that's here's my Lionel's like, and then comes it's horrible. It's Stevie. We are the world. I mean, it's horrible, but it's not that good. So I don't even want to go. How about Bruce Springsteen? He goes, "We are the world." He gets all. That sounds Japanese. But I gave up on impressions.
Yes, as you should have.
Yeah, no. I gave up on those. Have you guys? Can you do any impressions?
Yeah.
Who do you do?
I've been trying to challenge myself to do male impressions because there aren't a lot of women doing male impressions.
Let's
actually,
get it. What do you got?
It also helps to listen to other people doing them, and then you can kind of see what someone else has exaggerated, and then it's like, oh no, that's wrong.
Okay.
So you can compare it. So, Michael Caine.
Oh, let's hear your Michael Caine.
Okay, hold on.
I thought she was going to say like
it's
Pete
like
Buttigieg.
I need to hear. Oh, no, I don't even know it. Does anyone know what his voice sounds like?
Any of these people really are.
Michael Caine, you know. Everybody knows
Who's
Michael
Caine?
Come on.
He always sounds like he's walking up a flight of stairs.
It's Alfred from Batman?
Yeah.
Yes.
Master Wade.
He always is out of breath
That's
and
good.
has like a head cold.
That's a good
Like,
Michael Caine.
That was a good Alfred from Batman?
No, listen,
Master
but
Wade. I once saw a child playing with a ruby
You're right.
the size of a tangerine.
He talks like Master.
He's like Master Wade.
Yeah. If you want to be I'm not doing like Paul McCartney or like John
The
Lennon.
Beatles.
You want to be an actor. You got to do it right. Now you know what.
Okay, you're Russell Brand.
No, you know what I say. Well, you're right. It's up like isn't he like in the news? Where is he? Where is he? How do you do Michael Caine? Give me Michael Caine.
Okay, you have to be out of breath always. So everything is the last thing he's saying. And then it's
up here, like he's got a cold.
Wayne.
It is
Master
head
Wayne.
cold.
You know they're
like
coming
just
to get
plug
us.
your nose right off.
Master Wayne, they're coming to get us.
You sound like the janitor from Harry Potter. That's the realest thing. You're the clean up guy from Hogwarts.
Good for her for going for a dude.
That is
Thank
good
you.
for you.
I can't do.
I'm trying to do Dumbledore too.
Dumbledore?
Yeah,
oh,
I
that
don't
other
even
dude.
know.
You do
Oh no,
British
not
people.
Dumbledore. Gandalf.
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 See, I can't do.
I need to hear it. I can't jump right into it. I need to have like with accents too, like Australian or whatever. I have to have like a word that clicks me into it.
I go
like
with the accent with Australia. I go, got eye.
I go no.
Nah, yeah, they go,
No.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Tehran, who do you impersonate, man?
I do not.
You
so
are-
I don't. My accents aren't that good. I barely do the dad accent, the Persian accent.
Yeah.
But I'm not really a good quote unquote impersonator.
Yeah.
The only person I am able to impersonate
Yes.
and do an impression of was a friend of mine growing up named Borzu.
Okay.
And I did
It's
this,
a little
and I did.
specific for-
Not only was it specific, but I do an impression of Borzu that was so spot on that there was a time it was a snowstorm and we had off on school.
Yeah.
And there was a girl who was dating a person we knew, and I called her as Borzu and convinced her to come over.
Give us Borzu. Let's go.
Okay, this is Borzu. Yeah, I'm Borzu. What's up, everybody? I'm Borzu. That's how he sounded.
That's a great character.
I was like, wow, I know him. Oh my God, it's so
okay,
spot
man.
on.
No, try it. I did. And it sounded so much like him that this girl really broke up with her boyfriend and was going to date Borzu. And then I was like, by the way, it's Tehran, and hung up the phone.
Bro, you
And
got to
it's
bring
really bad.
Borzu into your act. He sounds like a funny
Borzu.
character.
He's a very
doesn't-
funny person.
Yeah,
I'm not
Doesn't
gonna lie.
enunciate.
He sounds a little bit like Kenny from
South Park.
South Park. Yeah. No, is it Kenny? One of those guys.
And he laughed like,
Yeah, like
and he had a whole thing, and it's like just how he is, and he said,
Oh my God,
he's a
that's
very
it.
successful businessman.
Yeah.
He's a successful businessman today, but at the time, that was the Borzu voice.
That's amazing, bro.
That was it. But
Wow.
that's the only. It was a very
That's cool.
specific. I don't know why, but that's it. I'm not good with this.
Like
stuff.
you, I do impressions of impressions. So like,
Yeah.
like the people, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey. So I heard a comedian do Stallone once that would be like, that, like he always says like, hey, I'm not a bum. Like, so it was like Mick going like, hey, Rock, you're a bum. He goes, hey, I'm not a bum.
That's
So like,
actually
Yeah.
really good.
Hey, yeah.
With the lip and everything, that's really good.
Yeah.
I do Brando.
it's hard. Oh yeah, that's
You
good.
come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding and you ask me to commit a crime.
That's good.
These are actually way
Those
better.
are pretty good.
A day will come and the
Then
day
you
may not
think.
come when I come to you to ask for favor.
So I got
Yeah,
all
That's really
good.
yeah. I don't do
I
any
gave
of
up.
this. Yeah.
Well, with that said, let's get Aries Spears in here. Let's see how the master does it. All right, people, listen, watch, enjoy. How do they find you, Caitlyn?
On Instagram at Y2KAIT _ Y2Kate.
Tehran.
And I am Tehran all across the board. IAMTEHRAN.
At Maz Jobrani. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let us know what you think. Find out more about Aries. He's touring all the time. Find him on social media. And also, we're touring, so find our dates. Come see a live show. Maybe we'll try an impression. You never know.
MazJobrani.com.
You never know. If you don't subscribe, I might have to come to you. I'm dead now, but I still might come back from the dead.
Do the. I thought it was out and they pulled me back.
Oh,
in.
that's
you
Al
do that.
Pacino.
Yeah, you do that
You
one
do
really
that
well.
Pull me back, but I tried to get up, but they keep pulling me back in.
Yeah,
That's a bad.
You do that well.
pretty good.
I've seen you do that one well.
I know. It's your boy.
That's
right.
your
Jay-Z.
strongest
That's
one.
my
That's a
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
But we're going to get a real guy right now doing
Yeah.
Jay-Z. Let's go. We'll have Aries Spears on Back to School with Maz Jobrani.
Back to school, yeah.
All right. School is in session. Back to school. We got today Aries Spears.
What's
How
up,
are
baby?
you, man?
How you doing, brother?
Thanks
Thank you for
coming.
having me, man.
Thank you for coming by,
Nah,
man.
Thank you, man.
You are our your fellow comedian.
Yes.
And also our impression or would you say impersonation or would you say impression? What do you say?
Impressionist.
Mimic master.
Mimic master.
Okay.
Today,
Masterclass.
you watch or listen to this episode. By the time you're done, you're going to be doing voices of celebrities.
Well, before we call it a day, I feel like this is a cheap setup for me, but I want to do it because since we're going to be talking about impressions, it's always fun when it's somebody new
Yeah.
or somebody who you rarely do. So all that being said, at some point, you got to ask Paul Mooney some questions or,
Oh,
Paul's
absolutely.
in the building. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're going to do all that. I got all those lined
All right.
Because I know, for those of you who know Aries from Mad TV and from his stand-up, he does amazing impressions, and I love it. And it's interesting because I personally like I tried to do some from time to time, but I let it go.
Yeah.
And so when I run into somebody who does them,
Yes.
I feel like I can stay up all night just having you do in and out.
Yeah, the guys that do impressions and that do them well, we're like X-Men. You know what I mean? Jay Farrell's an X-Men.
Yeah.
You know, my man, I'm forgetting his name. Jay Moore is an X-Men. You know,
Jay Moore, Dean
Afion
Edwards.
Crockett,
What's the
Dean
Frank
Edwards.
guy's name?
Who? Frank Caliendo.
Frank Caliendo. He's an X-Men. We're all X-Men, man.
Yeah.
We're like that one X-Men. I don't know her name, but she changes into people.
The impersonator?
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah, basically.
Well, listen, let's get the show started the way we always get the show started. So my kids, I had both kids this time. Dara and Mila ask a question of you, and we'll get started with them, and then we'll go. All right, you ready? Here we go. Here's the kids.
Hi, Mr. Spears. Your impressions are really good, but here's a challenge for you. Could you do an impression of my dad? And can you do an impression of Linda from Bob's Burgers?
I'm going to be honest. No.
Hilarious. So here's what's funny is because I always let them do the questions, and when they ask that, I go, that's a good question, man. Because
Right.
the fact is, like, no, I don't feel like I am at all like you. I know you do Al Pacino, you do Jay-Z, all these guys.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm not super impressionable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like you could be impressionable.
A little bit, but like it's not like everybody like hey Ma. Everyone does like Raymond, hey Ma, whatever. Like
Is that,
Raymond, how do Raymond?
Ma.
Yeah. You see, everyone,
Ma.
yeah.
And you can turn it on and off like you.
Yeah,
snap right
listen,
into
man.
it.
It's. I'm hope I'm not being vain here or whatever, but it's a gift, man.
No, it's a real skill set.
It really
It's a
is
real
because
skill
when
set.
people say how do you do it, it's not a question of how do you do it. It's like having an ear for music. People that can hear tone,
Oh, wow.
rhythm, inflection. Everybody's voice is a note. So if I do Shaq, the note is bassy.
And I played listen, as long as I get 28-10, then we're going to dominate. You know, when Dwight came here, he played for the Lakers, he didn't get 28-10. You can't call yourself Superman and not get 28-10. Those are my numbers.
So and there's a rhythm and an inflection in the way he talks.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
and for
saying?
those of you who just heard that, I want you to pause this
Yeah.
and go listen to Shaq.
Yeah.
It sounds exactly like that.
Especially when he says his numbers, because it's a rhythm.
As long as I get 20-10. If I get 20-10, I'm going to dominate.
Hilarious.
It's all a rhythm.
And then you do your eyes
Yeah,
too,
my
like
Yeah, a
favorite
little
is the
bit, a little bit,
physicality
yeah.
that then comes with the
Yeah,
impression.
DMX, dog, when it's real, you know what I mean? It's not
I'm going to tell you something.
It's a note.
I've spent an inordinate amount of time with DMX in my
Yeah.
life, and this is a true story.
No way.
And that sounds very much like him.
that's what I'm saying.
Like
Why
when
have
I
you
say
spent
severe,
so much time with
because my cousin used to manage him when it counted, and it was a thing. But that sounds, when I say very much like him, that sounds enough like him that there
Right.
was a time where he would have hired you to talk to people on the phone.
And he would have, because he would have been too cracked out of his mind to handle a phone call by himself. Funny quick story, when Jerry's Deli used to be over there near the Beverly Center, and back in the 90s, it was the go-to spot.
Yeah, I remember
after
that.
the clubs let
Yeah.
out. And I remember I was near the bathroom, and me and DMX was talking, and we were exchanging numbers, and this girl walked by, and he looks at her, and he goes, "Yo, baby, what up? Let me get your number." And she was like, "All right, give me a second." And then when she left, he went, "Yeah, fat ham." He called her a ham.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So his mind was
Wow.
all over the place.
All over the map.
But you're constantly, so when you're doing, 'cause like for example, like with Jay-Z, like you're constantly listening first of all to their rhythms.
Yeah.
But you're also listening to what they say, right? So like for example, here's my Jay-Z, right? It's your boy. That's all I got.
That's actually pretty. That's
not
that's
bad.
pretty good.
That's all I
didn't
got.
expect that to be so good.
Yeah, it wasn't really that good.
Yeah.
Well, not compared to an X-Men,
have
but
to,
No,
yeah.
but you're listening to that and then more.
Well, here's the thing too, and let me preface it first by I always say Jay Farrell is one of the kings. He does guys I wish I could do, and I envy him because I can't do it.
Right.
But the one thing that would bother me when he would do Jay-Z is like he would go, Blue Ivy, my baby Goyle, I rule the world. Now Jay-Z never says Goyle or Woyle.
Okay.
Yeah,
He
that's
would say
more
he
Yiddish.
would say girl and world how he would say it, but with the Jay-Z tone, which
Yeah.
is yo, my baby girl.
Okay.
I rule the world.
Yeah.
So it's
That-
just
that
world,
does sound like-
girl,
Yeah,
extended, but not Goyle.
Not Goyle.
and I
That's
thought
Bubby. So much
maybe
Bubby
he's
is
doing that
doing
for
that.
comedy effect.
Yeah.
But it would just annoy me because his impressions are all about specifics and details.
headline: Jay Farrell annoys Aries Spears. Can we?
Yeah.
No, don't say that.
That's
Don't
what I
say
heard.
that. No. Because that's what the headline will be.
But that's what the world wants. They want to.
And I don't want to. I don't want them to want
Right.
that because people thought that we had beef. And you look on social media and on Twitter, people would call me a hater and think I had beef with him. I don't have nothing but love for the brother.
Yeah.
It just, I would hear that and it would just make me go, why are you
You're
saying
just
Goyle?
You're a musician who's hearing another musician.
Who
and
you think is
playing
talented, by the way.
Yes.
Because he's dropped that 10 times more. He doesn't even know my name,
Yeah.
but dropped Jay Farrell is talented.
Yeah.
100%.
So first of all, back to school moment where it's all about learning and stuff. So the one thing you're saying to do impressions, listen to the intonation of the way the guy speaks.
Yes.
Right?
It counts.
So like Al Pacino, for example, right? So you're gonna do Al Pacino. You got to listen to the intonation.
You know, there's a rhythm when he talks. Everything goes up here, but then it goes down there.
Like in Son of a Woman.
Yeah.
When he would go,
Friend's name is Charles. He don't like to be called Chucky.
and then every time the dude, I forget the great character actor, he would describe what led to Pacino being blind. And finally he goes and boom, he pulled the pins out of the grenades and he went blind. I guess God has a sense of humor.
Hoo-ha, God have nothing to do with it, son.
So it's, that rhythm of, and I always wanted to know, when did Pacino go from being that guy from Dog Day Afternoon and Serpico when he talked with the light voice?
Give us that. You got that?
I don't have that.
Oh.
But he went from that
to everything's gravelly now.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Whatever happened to Bob Dylan also happened to him.
Yeah.
It's like all over
I
the
think they
place.
just kind of become themselves, right? They stop acting and become.
Well,
And they've smoked more cigarettes.
Well, yeah. Pacino actually said in an interview because of all the drinking and he
Yeah.
loves cigars. So the cigars and the
Changed his
alcohol
voice.
took a toll on his voice.
Yeah.
And that's even happened to me a little bit because when I was 17, 18, and I first started when I was 14, I did Eddie Murphy. But I could do the highs of Eddie Murphy. Now I can only do the lows because my voice is a little torn down. But Eddie Murphy, he go real high.
Yeah.
And then Eddie talk like this. I told my brother Charlie. So a certain part of the notes I can't hit like I used to.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So it's the intonation, it's the phrases they use.
Yes.
And then are there people that you wish you could do and you go, God, I just can't do who's somebody that you wanted
Lil
to
Wayne.
Obama.
I was just about to say Barack Obama.
Because when he, obviously first black president, the whole hype and the popularity, how could you not? It's a call to action as a black man. But then I knew his cadence.
Yeah.
Like, I could do his cadence, but I don't know that I ever nailed the voice. My daughter Sasha Malek. What we do here in America.
That's pretty good.
I know the
Pretty
cadence.
good.
For
But I
some
just
reason,
don't-
I don't have it
nailing
at all, but here it is.
No, but I just don't. I've heard dudes that nail
Yeah.
that voice.
Jay Farrell.
But there's measures when he's talking. Sometimes he gets whispery. If we make a change, and that's where I don't.
Yeah.
But certain things when he says it, in the rhythm. But I don't really have the way some dudes do.
So would you have to sit there and watch him over and over and over again, or do you just walk out of the shower one time and be like, "It's your boy," and now you're like, "Oh, I got Jay-Z," right? I mean, or do you study them?
You just got it. Either you can do it or you can't.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You can't learn a tone. It's just something that your voice can do. That's like, people can learn the certain techniques about singing, and you may be all right, but you don't teach Whitney Houston. You don't teach Marvin Gaye.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't teach Shaka Khan. They are who they are.
So there's a back to school moment. You either got it or you don't. So
Got
don't
it.
even
Sorry.
try to be an person.
I don't know if that's a
Bummer.
learning moment. I'm just, well, here's the thing. Do you find yourself to be a better listener than most people?
Depends on what I'm listening to. If it's important, yeah, I'm all in.
But when you say important, or you say so are you listening? Or do you sit there in a conversation with someone, or and go, okay, I'm listening to the way they're talking, not what they're saying,
Right.
but rather you're studying them. Are you listening like that?
A little of both. A little of both. Yeah. Yeah.
That is amazing, because I could sit there, I can do accents,
Yeah.
Well,
but I can't do voices.
like my first impression ever, I think I was 13, 14, was Bobby Slayton.
Yeah.
Because I would hear him, I'm standing in the big, I'm the people of comedy. Let me tell you something.
Wow.
I tell my wife all the time, I tell my wife, if I was a black guy, I would be the biggest comedian of all time. Forget Cedric the Entertainer, forget Steve Harvey. I've been doing this stuff first, all right? I've been doing it first.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah.
Again, put this on pause. Google
listen.
Bobby Slayton. Bobby Slayton was what they call him, the pit bull of comedy.
Yes, I'm the pitbull of comedy.
Pit bull of comedy.
I'm the one who's black guy. Forget all the black guys who think they're black. I'm the black guy, okay? So, yeah.
That's him. That's amazing.
Even the way it's interesting to me because you also do Maz pointed out you did the facial,
The mannerisms,
the mannerisms.
That goes with it.
You have to pick, like
There are some dudes who can do one better than the other.
Uh-huh.
The masters know how to make them both.
Yeah.
You get that voice and those mannerisms. That's why, again, I grew up, I'm an 80s baby. So I grew up watching Eddie on SNL. And he was king to me.
Yeah.
So when I would watch him do James Brown Celebrity Hot Tub and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and Mr. T, I saw that that's the culmination of both.
Do you do Mr. T?
No. I wish I could. No. I like to flirt around sometimes when you say in the shower with Rodney Dangerfield. Boy, I tell my wife, I tell.
Oh yeah.
That's as far as I
yeah.
go.
Yeah. Oh, I'm doing Bernie now. Way
Was it Bernie Mac?
no Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders. The healthcare system is broken in this country. We need to fix it. And I mean, it's
Well,
all right.
pretty
Bernie,
good.
before we can fix healthcare,
There you go. Now we're having a debate.
we got to start with,
But Barack Obama.
huge.
Huge.
I don't.
Listen, I want to play for you because my daughter, I don't know if you watch Bob's Burgers. By the way, it's a great animation.
Right.
And this character that she was talking about, the wife in Bob's Burgers, Linda, she's got a very New York accent.
Do you know who
Now,
voices her?
I don't know who voices her. Who does voice her?
I
don't
should
know. We should look
who
it up.
voices her.
So I'm gonna play it just for a second, so you hear it. I want to see if you can, on air, at least work on.
All right.
Here we go. We're gonna just try a little bit. Here's Linda.
That's your fourth dog. Anything coming to you yet?
Yeah, not yet. Oh, wait, something's coming. Something's coming. It's just a burp. I'm gassy.
I'm pretty sure it's a guy,
gassy.
by the way.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's very. It's,
Linda, I love showers and mornings and bologna and turtles. Rich people run funny. Must be all the money in their pockets. Or it's their big, rich, golden wieners. It's probably their wieners. Linda stocked corn and she don't care. So freaking excited. Best friends till the very end.
Yeah, I would have to give it a little bit of work. Just
All
try
right.
it, test it.
what would you do? What would you go? I mean, because it's obviously the accent. It's very.
Well, yeah, very New York.
Yeah. But you got to go high, right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I would have to listen to a little bit more because
Yeah.
not just impressions, but accents.
Yeah.
I do accents.
Yeah.
And I love fucking Italians. They're the fucking best.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
All right, not for nothing. If my old man found out I was banging a shine, I don't forget about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and plus I'm from New York, so
Yeah.
I came up in all that.
Yeah.
I'm dying to do this Paul Mooney, man, because you guys are comics.
So Paul Mooney, just again for people watching, people listening. Paul Mooney, legendary comedian, and he used to
Nigga,
write.
there's no need to say that. I've been a legend, nigga.
That's exactly.
I have been. A
Oh my
legend, nigga.
gosh, that's
There's no need for
amazing.
you to say that. All of them niggas that know me, the niggas that know me, you white folks, you better catch up.
The hand though, the
Better
hand,
catch up. Yeah, you know what it is.
Maz, the hand.
It's amazing.
He did the hand.
I want to
Yeah.
say to all these black people, stop being fooled by this goddamn Popeyes chicken sandwich. This is white man's ploy to kill you niggas. All of you niggas 19 years from now will have mesothelioma. I know why you niggas love this chicken. It's what's in the batter. They put Aretha Franklin's ashes in the batter. I bit into a breast, nigga, it was a breast. That chicken sandwich was tasty.
That even sounds like what Paul Mooney would say.
Let me tell you something, nigga. That chicken sandwich was tastier than Richard Pryor's son's ass.
That's crazy. That's messed up. But
That is
that's
crazy.
Too soon.
Messed up.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
There's never a thing is called too soon. Slavery was too soon, nigga. Niggas was free too late.
It's a Paul Mooney thing.
Paul Mooney. So again, pause this right now. Google. You know who Paul Mooney is?
No.
You don't
That
know
white
Paul
woman
Mooney.
don't
No,
know
no,
who I am.
she's too white.
That woman
to
is
not.
as white as cotton, nigga. She don't know who I am.
So let me just
We
tell
picked
you.
her race. We
Let me
picked her
tell you.
color. All right, stop.
Coming up in comedy,
Yeah.
like I knew who Paul Mooney was, and then I come to find out he wrote a lot for Richard Pryor. He's one of the. He was very political, very hardcore, and he would get on stage and he would do a lot of that where like he would attack the audience about not being black enough, and then he would attack black people about not being black enough, and it was crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, so he's hardcore. He's not. There's nothing. Let's say
He's uncut cocaine.
exactly
Right.
So there's nothing a very let's say lollipop or candy whatever
Yeah.
bubble gum about him. So the first time I did one of my sets at the Comedy Store. And I'm a regular at the Comedy Store. I'm so excited. Oh my God, this is the big time. I'm here. Da, da, da. So he was there. And it was so funny because I was so green, I didn't know like what to say. And I went up to him and I was like, Mr. Mooney, I just want you to know it's a pleasure to be on the same stage as you.
Right.
And it threw him off because I was so sweet and naive. I think he was like basically he was like, you know.
Say that again.
Mr. Mooney, I just want to say it was such a pleasure to be on the same stage as you.
We're on the same stage, but we're not on the same level.
That's exactly what he meant with his eyes when he looked at me like, who is this motherfucker?
Why are you speaking to me?
Hilarious.
Wow. Yeah, man.
Hilarious. Yeah. But it's amazing because like now you're creating, because you've gone now in that voice, let's say, you've gone and you're actually singing what the guy would say.
Well, see, and that's the thing. And again, I don't want to come off cocky, so I'm just saying, I'm telling you what people have said.
Yeah.
And I'm just validating it because it's the truth.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's one thing to do the impressions, the mannerisms, but when you say things that you go, that's what they would say.
Right.
It takes it to a different level. A lot of guys might be able to do the voice, but the mannerisms are missing.
Yeah.
Some dudes got the mannerisms, but the voice ain't there. Some dudes got both, but the content is not there. When you can marry all that shit,
that's
which
legend.
I do.
You do. 100% you do.
That's why when people come up to me and go, man, you one of the GOATs, you one of the greatest at the impressions, not trying to be arrogant, but I that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, that's what you do.
You know, when I do the Jay-Z bit, you know, I remember I did the 4 rappers rapping, and it went viral and got like
Super
17
viral.
million views. But people were like, yo, what you was spitting as Jigga.
Yeah.
It's like he would say that.
Yeah.
Once upon a time ago, and I'll admit, my Biggie is not that great. It sounds more like Shine. But I remember I was at a radio station, and I did Biggie and Meth, and I did Biggie rhyming. And
Method Man, just to let you know, he didn't just do meth like at the radio station.
Yeah. I did the lyrics, and the lyrics were Biggie baby delivers, cold like the shivers, talk slick shit, spit game is vicious, malicious.
It sounds like
Horrible
Shine.
do you like a cancer?
Right.
Doc speak, bleak, talk about your chances, seem to work slow, the chemo, flesh to the bone marrow, life window narrow, fuck sorrow, make beef, make peace with your priest at least, nigga think about tomorrow, Papa, spot ya, Biggie be done dropped ya, Chris keep it real, keep it frank like Sinatra, but that cadence,
That
mother
is
the
a-
road, the road.
Did you write that
rhythm.
flow?
Yeah.
Do you go to your
That's a Biggie flow, though.
I thought he was singing
That's
a
what I'm saying.
song.
No,
I thought,
saying.
yo, that's not. That's an original.
I was waiting for you to go. I'm going back to Cali. I was like, that's the lyrics, right?
No. I wrote the lyrics, man.
Jeez.
Hilarious.
So when that 4 rappers, everyone knew you wrote the lyrics.
Yeah.
But then you're just always constantly creating. Look, it's a real talent just because it's a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
And you do it so well. Have you ever gotten in trouble for it? Has anyone felt that you weren't mimicking, you were mocking?
Of course. You know, I back when the rumors were going around that LL Cool J kind of maybe went both ways.
I could see him being sensitive.
And he's very
Ask Jamie Foxx.
We'll get to that in a second. I did my comedy album, and I did a double disc CD, and the other disc was prank phone calls. So I did a prank phone call where I called Mickey's Gay Club in Hollywood.
That's amazing.
And I was trying to be LL coming in on Filipino night. And I guess somehow some of it got back to him, but he did a radio interview in Orlando, and the guy asked him, hey, man, you know Aries Spears, he does you, right? And LL was like, you know, Aries Spears is like my man, you know, I heard him. I'm going to get him back. I'm going to tear him up. I'm going to tear his ass up. But it was one of those things where he was joking, but he was not.
But he wasn't. He felt some type of way.
And you could hear it in the response. Like,
Right.
you know, ha, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But to be fair, that prank call that you did,
Yeah.
not everyone knew it was a prank call. Some people thought that was a real call from LL Cool J. So you could see how at the time, especially with rumors, it could have been,
Right.
it could have affected him personally.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially if the rumors are more true than they're not. And we
Right.
don't know. I don't care.
Right.
But
Who knows? Yeah.
it could have, I mean, because at the time, a lot of people thought that was real. That was a real thing. Like, yo, LL,
Right.
they recorded him doing
you know,
this.
They had the thing where they actually interviewed on the Breakfast Club and also in the magazine the transgender chick who's flat out said, I fucked Eddie Murphy, I fucked LL, I fucked DJ, forget the popular DJ in New York on WB at one of the radio
I
stations.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and she was specific about what they liked and all of this. So,
Right.
you know, whether the rumors are true or
Allegedly.
not, I don't know. But yeah.
But now because you can see how you're going to do impressions of people and then you're going to run into them.
Right.
So when you run into LL or
Jay-Z, have you ever? Because Jay could either take it either way.
Right. Well, here's what happened. I went to the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, and as soon as the fight lets out, the way everybody leaves the arena, you kind of spill into the streets. So we spilling in the streets, and Allen Iverson is over here, and there's a small little crowd around him. Allen. All of a sudden, like that, everybody leaves Allen and goes over to this other group, and it's Jay-Z walking with Beyonce holding hands.
Wow.
And I just so happened the rhythm in which I was walking happened to be lined up right with them. And I said, yo, Jay, man, I just want to let you know I'm a big fan, dog. He goes, I know who you are, nigga. I know who you are. So he's gotten wind of it.
That's
so
funny.
he might not have.
He said it in a good way, or
dude, you know, nigga.
Either way, it could have went either way.
It's like women can tell you what they want to tell you without telling you.
It's like I know.
He was
I know.
And he looked
I
at me
know
with,
who you are.
I know who you are, nigga. I know who you are.
Oh, he got the look too.
What about Snoop? You ever run into Snoop?
Snoop loves me.
Yes, I know
That's my
Snoop loves
man.
him. Snoop actually
Snoop loves me.
Up Aries to me every single time.
Hey, nephew, I love when you do that impression, nigga. Do that thug
Loves it.
nizzle for shizzle nizzle. He loves it. I recently did some pilot with him that I don't think is going to go, but we were sitting there, and as he was sitting there on the set with the blunt in his hand, it was dead quiet. And he just turns to me and goes, hey, man, you a bad boy, nigga. You a bad boy.
Hilarious.
And everybody heard it, and I felt validated. Like,
you've been
Snoop.
crowned.
Yeah.
So that also tells you a little bit about the person, because I mean, like I think Jay probably has a little more of a hard image. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got to stay hard, even though I think he was messing. Like he still was cool.
I don't
with
even
you.
think that's it. I just look. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. They say imitation is the greatest form of flattery. I'm
Right.
not always flattering.
Right.
So when I do an impression of you, I may go after your insecurity.
Right.
I might go after what you did in the news. I might go after your fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that to me is more interesting than just here's this powder puff sugary compliment.
Right.
Like I remember when I did Def Jam, I talked about the size of Jay-Z's lips and looking like Joe Camel.
Right.
Now he might have saw that.
Yeah.
So I know who you are, nigga.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I hear you.
Shaq loves me, but the only thing I've ever done with Shaq is, the eye.
But he's just got a great sense of humor about himself.
Yeah, if he wasn't a ball player, he'd be a comic.
Yeah, as does Snoop though. Snoop is the same. I
Yeah.
think Snoop
Right.
to me feels like a kind of guy who would be like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some dudes take this shit in stride, which is how you should.
Yeah.
But going back to LL, some dudes, they sensitive, man. They don't like to be fucked with, or
Of
they got a
course.
different comedic sensibility.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What everybody else might laugh at, they looking at you like it's algebra.
Honestly, comedy's not for everyone.
No.
that is a real thing. Not everyone's
Which is
gonna find-
insane.
The things that we find
has a
funny,
sense
not
of
everyone's gonna find funny.
Comedy is
and
like cookies, nigga. Who don't
Yeah.
like cookies?
a
All
lot
right, here's
of
a question.
people.
Here's a question. Have you ever tried to do an impression of a woman? Any woman?
Yeah.
Again, back in my day,
Caitlyn Jenner does not count.
I kind of could do Dr. Ruth and what's Archie Bunker's wife?
Oh, Edith.
Edith.
Look, can we hear a little bit?
Now this was when my voice was
Yeah.
in pristine teenage years.
Yeah.
I can't fucking do it.
That was it, though.
I'll
It was
blow my
getting
throat
there.
out. I'll blow my throat out.
was worth a day.
Archie, eat it, Archie. It was.
By the way, that's Linda. That's close
A little
to
bit of
Linda.
Linda.
If you could, if you took that and you
Right.
brought it down a little bit,
Right.
I'm telling you, bro.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
When did you, as a comedian, now I know we go through our growing years and stuff. When did you decide? Like, was it out the gate? You're like, I'm going to be doing impressions, and at what point did you ever run into the conversation with yourself about, well, if I do impressions, do I lose my point of view of who I am, or how? You know what I'm talking about?
No, because I do. No, I do. I'm
You know-
saying
you know
no.
what I'm saying, right? Yeah, yeah.
Because listen, I never wanted to be a one-trick pony.
Right.
And even when some of the trolls or the haters hit me up on Instagram, one of the things they say, which is so fucking ridiculous, is they go, "Man, you just known for doing impressions." Well, nigga, you clearly haven't seen my body of work.
Right.
I've been doing this 30 years.
Yeah.
If you think all I do is impressions, you're insane.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be the complete player. And I look at, I liken a lot of what I do to sports. MJ had no weaknesses.
Right.
Rebound, defend, basketball IQ, shoot, dunk, post moves. So I'm like, I don't just want to be known as a one-trick pony.
Right.
I want people to know I can improv. I can go off the cuff. I can play the dozens. I can do impressions. I can go political. I can talk sexual. I can go blue. I can go family. I can do it all.
Right.
So I never wanted to limit myself and have people think that I'm a one-trick pony.
Right.
I love Frank Caliendo to death. And because, Frank got me a lot of shine on Fox NFL. When he was on Fox all the time, I would do some of the NFL Sunday shows with him. I love Frank. That's my man. But I always wish Frank could do a joke that wasn't an impression.
I hear
His
you.
whole set was just impressions. And that's fine.
Yeah.
He's a master at it.
Yeah.
But I was just curious, like, could you be funny without it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think it's a testament to someone's skill level if you can go, look, man, impressions is like dunking. I can dunk anytime I want.
Right.
How's my fadeaway? How's my post move? How's my, my 3-point shooting?
Yeah.
So I want to show you I can do it all.
That's a learning moment. So if you're doing something in the arts, be open to doing it all and get strong at it. Now, I personally have no skill at doing impressions, but I will do some accents in the sort.
And I've heard them, and they're great. And listen, I tip my hat to Bill Maher. I watch his show religiously, pardon the pun, but I dab in politics, but I'm not a political comic.
Right.
And I think that's one of the hardest things to do is political comedy.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got a stance.
Yeah.
And when you fuck with people's belief system, you don't get the chuckles. And the fact that he can do that and do it well, I wish I could do that.
But you've been getting a little political on social media, right? Am
Probably
I right?
too political, which is why my career is where it is.
Hilarious. What are the subjects that you feel, and have you thought about ever taking any of those subjects and bringing them to the stage? Because for me, it's very personal. Like when I see something like the travel ban that affects Iranians and other people from the Middle East and stuff, I get upset. I bring it to the stage, right?
Yeah.
I can't help myself.
Right.
Have you had anything that you've been talking about social media and you go, I got to bring this on stage?
I want to, but I always fear I become too preachy and trying to find out what's too wordy, how to slice it down. And again, I bow to the man, one of the greatest comedians of all time, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
The way he can take deep, hardcore issues and paint this masterful picture is sexy. It bothers me when black people ask the question, what has Barack done for us? Now, I got a long thing I just wrote, and of course I'm trying to make it funny, but as I go over it in my head, I'm going, is it too preachy? Am I too wordy? And I won't know until I put it out there.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that really get in my craw, man, is when black people ask that dumbass question.
Yeah.
I don't like coons. And that's probably why I got banned from Twitter.
Yeah.
It's because, I attack coons and because they're mascots to Trump supporters, they come out like the beehives support Beyonce.
Yeah.
If you dare say anything bad about Beyonce, the beehives is coming for you.
Right.
So, when I attack their mascots, they come out in droves with pitchforks and torches.
Have you thought about, like, in a political sense, if you wanted to go, and let's say you wanted to go and talk about, like, okay, I'm pissed off, black people asking, what has Obama done for us, right?
Right.
Have you thought about maybe bringing that through just the beginning of it with one of your impressions, like as a Jay-Z, as Snoop Dogg or somebody like that, being like, motherfucker,
For me, it was the opposite.
Right.
I wanted to end on one.
Uh-huh.
Actually, end on Obama. I'll give you the cliff note. But basically, when black people go, what has he done for us? And I go, what the fuck you want him to do? Pay your rent?
Yeah.
He's the president of all people, not black people.
Yeah.
And then I do a thing where Obama shows up. Guy opens the door. Oh shit, Barack Obama, baby! And long story short, eventually Barack pays the rent. Before he goes, oh, before I leave, here's some Popeyes chicken coupons.
Oh yeah.
And the guy go, love you, Barack. You got it, nigga. And then but
that's what you want.
Yeah. Trying to figure that out.
Well, that's like that's when it was funny to me when he was there when they killed Bin Laden, and I was like, now what are they gonna say? Like he's like, I killed Bin Laden. Like now, what else do you want me to do?
What do you want from me?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What just happened? Something
I think
happened with
I cut
that.
out in my left ear.
Me too.
Yeah,
left
we all
ear.
cut out in the left ear.
Something happened.
With President Obama.
Here's my question to you.
Yeah.
And I was, I'm from New York, but I live in LA, and I've been living in LA since '93. And I was just curious, when 9/11 happened, where were you?
I was in LA.
Okay.
I was with my now wife, then girlfriend, and I actually so my brother was working in New York near those buildings.
Right.
So right away I started calling him. And then I also, my mom lives in Westwood near the Federal Building in LA. So I called my mom up. I said, hey, I think you should get out of that area because I go, that might be a target. And then we went and we grabbed I think we got my grandfather and whoever else was here in LA, and we went over and stayed at my sister's place for a little bit. And it was a crazy, crazy day. I felt, in all honesty, like not just because I'm of Middle Eastern descent, because there was, first of all, I didn't have anything to do with it. Iranians didn't have anything to do with it. But more importantly, I just knew it was like this. I knew that we were all going to be blamed somehow. But also, more importantly, I was sad for, for what the tragedy of it, right? So I honestly felt like I could never be funny again. I don't know if you felt that at all, but that day I felt like, how can it's the song "The Day the Music Died." Yeah. It felt like the day the laughter died.
What I was curious about was, and obviously it happened.
Yeah.
The wound is fresh. Anger's high.
Yeah.
I just was wondering, like, yo, what is it like right now to be Middle Eastern in New York?
Yeah.
Like, what are they feeling that day?
Yeah.
Because I know they got to be feeling scorn, dirty looks,
absolutely
fucked up, feelings. Like how safe is it? What is it like to be in a Middle Eastern person's skin, walking down the street, and you get that look from them good old boys?
Well, I get a lot of people telling me their stories, and the way I look, I could be Latino, I could be Middle Eastern, I could be something, and so I personally haven't had somebody attack me like that.
Right.
I've had throughout my life people, tell me, like, back after the hostage crisis, when we were kids, they would call you fucking Iranian and they beat you up. I've had people yell at me for things like that. But I've run into people who, a lot of times it's the women who have to cover themselves up, who are the target, because what you just said, they're for their religion, they got to cover themselves up. And so they're not going to take it off and be like, oh, I'm going to,
because 9/11 happened.
Because 9/11.
Yeah.
But what happens is, I was in Florida and these ladies were saying that they would say whenever we pull up at like a light or something, in our car, if I have my hijab, somebody would pull up and pull their window down and start saying like, get out of my country, go back to your country. Or people are trying to light that on fire. Some lady said that some guy was trying to light that on fire.
Wow.
So and then Indian Sikhs who actually wear turbans. Yeah.
And they're not even Middle Eastern.
Had you been in New York that day, would you have been leery about going out and moving around?
Bro, absolutely. You know what I did? One of the first things I did, and again, it was like, I don't know if it was subconsciously a protection mechanism, but I felt like I was saying how patriotic I felt because I really wanted to get these guys. So I said I said the world is so crazy right now that I'm suddenly a fan of George Bush. I actually was. I was like, let's go get him. I actually went and got a flag. I bought a flag and put on my car. One of those flags. Yeah. And it wasn't. I don't think it was like, oh, don't come after me.
Oh, I want to be protected. I'm Iranian. I want to be as American as possible.
Yeah, but it might have subconsciously been that. I remember pulling up into the Comedy Store parking lot, and Marilyn Martinez, God rest her soul, she goes, oh, look at Maz. She was making fun of me. She's like, got a flag so he doesn't get beaten up. I was like, no, I'm trying to be patriotic. But subconsciously, maybe I was trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was out, I don't know if you went, Jamie Masada had a rally in front of the Laugh Factory. Like all of Sunset was closed down. And we were out there, people were out there going like, USA, USA. Everyone was out. Jamie put a flag on the wall, like.
But Jamie did it not to get beat up.
Absolutely. He did it to get customers.
Yeah.
Jamie did it not get beat up, get more customers.
Yeah. He'll do whatever he has to do to whore the business.
2-drink minimum, buddy.
Yeah.
2-drink minimum.
USA, special USA price. 2-drink minimum.
USA, you still pay.
Right.
Are we having trouble at all with the ear? Is that going to be a problem? Let's see what time that is in this, so you can edit
It's getting
that
too
part.
hot, baby.
I'll edit this out.
Yeah, if you could.
I think it's like a half hour.
No, I'm still in my right ear only. I just want to make sure if on the recording it doesn't.
Yeah,
end up
that
being
it's stereo.
Oh, well then I don't mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right. So.
All right.
You want to make what time was that? 45 in.
11:01. I think it's 30 in. 30. Yeah.
We started at like what?
10:30.
What's the time on that?
That was at like 35 or at 36.
Okay,
Okay.
so you know where to cut that. All right.
85.
So that's how I were you in New York? Were you in
No,
LA?
I was in LA. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I was in D.C., so it was very real to us.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because the
Shit.
Pentagon people keep forgetting that a plane hit the Pentagon as well.
Yeah.
They do forget
So
that.
people
Well, the
just
Pentagon
forget
was like the side bitch
of the disasters.
Yeah.
Well, depending on what conspiracy you want to hear.
But you being black, right? Nobody knew you were Persian.
Everyone knew I was Persian. Yeah, everyone knew I was black. Everyone knew I was Persian.
Your friends knew you were, but I'm saying nobody
Not
down
in the street.
Nobody walking down the street would be like, they'd be like, oh, you're all right today,
Well, actually, because I was in DC is so diverse and so small, it was the opposite effect. I felt like white people were afraid, like, we liked what they did. Like they were afraid, like we're like, no, we didn't like what they did either. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But I remember in class, it was a very interesting situation. Like we're watching on TV, they locked us in. There were soldiers. I mean, it was very serious.
Wow.
And then one Caitlyn looking girl stood up and was like, I don't understand why this happened. We're all like agreeing. And then she's like, what have we ever done to them? What have we ever done to anybody? And all the like black and brown kids in the class kind of looked at each other. And I was the first one who started laughing like, well,
white naive.
They're like, do you want to tell her? Should
we
I
don't
tell
agree
her?
with this at all. But that like we were like it was a thing. So it became a discussion in the class and everything. And everyone aired out their grievances. But obviously, it's an atrocious act, and in DC. It was very real.
Wow.
The only place it was more real is New York.
Yeah. The thing that would just get me is, when I went to New York after the fact, and you put it in perspective. I mean, it's like you see it on TV and you went, holy shit. But you look up at the buildings and you go, what a decision to have to make.
Yeah.
Burn alive or jump from that.
Yeah.
And my knees get weak, dude.
Yeah.
'Cause I just go, what a horrific predicament.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jesus.
No, well, that's the thing about being a person of color, is when something happens that your community is somehow involved, even if it's not your community. September 11th was not my community,
right.
Or the hostage crisis. Again, the logic goes out the door. The people that would beat up Iranians after the hostage crisis, they were beating up Iranians in America, were not piecing the puzzle together, going, wait a minute, the Iranians in America left that government and came here. They're opposed to that government. And now that government, or some people in that government, have taken these Americans hostage. So I'm beating up the guy who's actually on my side, but I'm going to beat him up because he comes from that country. You understand? Logic goes out the door.
I have access to that guy.
When you look in the newspaper and they have political cartoons, I always thought the one political cartoon I would have loved to have seen that day or shortly thereafter is a guy in a KKK outfit hugging an Israelite, a black Israelite.
Right.
And they both got candles with the towers, because it's like, why are we fighting each other when clearly we just saw who the enemy was?
Right.
And then you can almost get, and this is where I got to fall back because politically I don't know all the ins and outs, but, in terms of what's really happening and why Americans really over there.
Yeah.
And, I used to get mad when I would hear comics try to say the most naive bullshit ever, which is they hate us for our freedoms.
No.
They hate us because we got McDonald's and Coke.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
They have McDonald's and Coke.
Yeah, they
have McDonald's and Coke.
Well, what you said is interesting because that goes back to what happened was this was my big problem with the Bush administration's response to September 11th. There was a moment where we could come together as the world and go, okay, we're going to go fight terrorists and find out why. Well, first of all, why these terrorists doing what they're doing. So maybe some of it has to do with things that we're doing. But more importantly, we could all come together and say there is a common enemy, which is this group that's trying to carry out acts of terrorism. And even in the streets of Iran, people were doing candlelight vigils in support of America. The people of Iran were doing that.
Droves.
Yeah, and rather than concentrating on that and going, oh wow, Iran, who is our enemy right now, there's the people of Iran are actually doing candlelight vigils that are supportive of America. Rather than concentrating on that, people came out like Trump going, no, there's people in New Jersey, there's Arabs that are singing and dancing because of this, which there was no proof of that at all.
I didn't see it in New Jersey or where he said, but they showed overseas where there were some.
Well, again, I'll tell you that. Like, again, if you go to a neighborhood and you go, all right, I got these 10 people right here that are celebrating this for whatever reason, who have been suffering and they've been getting bombed for years and years and years. And like, oh, finally America got theirs. And the camera goes, okay, roll it. Go ahead, do your ululating. So they're like, and they're throwing up candy and they go, there they go, they're all doing it. No, most people around the world were shocked by it. and they were saddened by it, because no matter what happens, when I hear about, especially when you realize it's innocent people. So when you hear that America, dropped a drone and killed a wedding party in Pakistan, we don't sit there and go, well, we got Pakistan, You go, oh my God, they were trying to get the Pakistani Taliban, but they killed innocent people. So even people in Pakistan or Afghanistan or wherever they were, when they see these buildings go down, they're like, oh my God, like they got wives and kids, know?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's what you were saying. I think that there was a moment where the world could come together,
right?
But unfortunately, people come after you, and so let me turn that back on you as somebody that's African American in LA, and you're driving around and you hear about people like getting pulled. Like Chris Rock has talked about a few times about getting pulled over in his own car,
right?
Because he's a black dude in a nice car,
right?
Like, have you had instances or had somebody like you're walking down the street and some lady like clutches her purse? Have you had that kind of stuff happen to you?
One time I was parked at a light, and I guess the old white homeless woman thought I was gonna hit her or nudge her, so she yelled out, "Nigger!"
Oh no!
But it was like, you homeless, bitch. It don't mean the same.
Not only that, but it's like, why you?
The only time I'd rather be black is right now.
Right now.
Just to let you know, I'm going home. Where are you going?
Right.
You're not going home?
So you had a homeless lady yell at you?
Nigga, yeah. Nigga.
Oh my God.
But other than that, dude, and listen, obviously we know it happens, and thank God I've never gone through it, but we know it happens. Cops fucking with black folks and cops killing unarmed black men, and thank God I've never had that happen to me. But the feeling to know that it does happen, yeah, it's scary.
Do you ever get inspired, like when the travel ban happened, where they just dropped the ban on everybody from these certain countries, and all of a sudden I started getting emails from people going like, "Oh my God, my parents can't come in, this, that, the other." There's a protest at the airports. Somebody hit me up that's political. They go, "We're going, you want to come?" And I was like, yeah. And I went down and I protested. When you see Black Lives Matter, or you see something like that happen, or you see something like they killed another black...
I'm supportive as a motherfucker from the couch.
You just tweet. But you're not getting up and going down.
Up, nigga. I'm tired. I'm hungry.
But if you ever, because that's why,
Lethal Weapon 3
listen,
is
as a
on.
comedian, I sometimes feel like, because I feel, and again, like you, I was inspired by Eddie Murphy coming out the gate. That was my hero. To this day, he is. But then once I got into it more and more, I was like Richard Pryor, George Carlin, these guys that are saying some stuff, right? And even if you're not saying it on stage, because a lot of people, like you said, that are like, I don't want to get into the politics of it. But nowadays, off stage, you get fired up. You're like, what? They killed another black dude who was, was using a squirt gun or something. So at a certain point, like that's like you, I was like, oh yeah, I'll tweet. But I was like, I got to get up and go. And I went down, and I feel like there's real people doing real things. One of the things I saw that was like the most exciting thing the most excited I've ever been to see lawyers.
Yeah.
A bunch of lawyers showed up at LAX, and they went to the arrivals section with their laptops, and they're like, I go, what do you guys do? We're here to help whoever needs help with legal things. I was like, these are the best lawyers in the world. Now, granted, they couldn't do shit because they weren't letting the people that landed out of the gates to come see these lawyers.
I love when white people get involved in the fight.
Isn't it crazy?
It just brings value to the fight.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's unfortunately crazy, but fortunate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, when you look back at that historic moment where the black people tried to, I forget the exact year, but tried to march across the Pedius Bridge.
Yeah.
And I think they call it something Sunday or Bloody Sunday. And the cops just trampled the black people, hit them with the smoke gas, and fucked them up. Fucked a lot of them up.
Yeah.
But when that got played on TV, and the rest of the country and some of the world went, oh my God, then white people got involved.
Yeah.
And needless to say, that next march was flawless.
Yeah.
Because, white lives were involved.
They got across.
So, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
If it helps the cause, you can't argue with that.
Yeah.
But goddamn it, why does it have to be white blood involved for the black blood to mean something?
Yeah.
It should mean something regardless, right?
Yeah,
In theory,
all lives matter.
All
right?
lives matter.
Yeah.
But, we know that don't work like that.
And that's what I'm saying is I feel like even as comedians now, like no matter what you do, because I get this a lot. I don't know on some of your posts if you get this, you get the thing of like, stick to comedy.
And only white people say that.
Yeah.
Only white people say that. black people ain't gonna say what we already know we fighting for.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And to the white, and I recently set out a post, and I said, look, man, because a lot of white people think I hate them. You know, you're racist, and when did you become so racist? And I go, you guys with your fragile feelings, just because I'm uplifting black consciousness doesn't mean I don't like white people. And I say to my fans, I go, look, listen to my podcast. Really listen to the racial conversations we get into. My feature's a Jewish dude, Andy Steinberg. You know, me and this motherfucker go hard in the paint, and we go honest. I break bread with this nigga. I know his kids. I've been around his family. If I break bread with you, that means you family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I hated white people, that wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
The ones that say that are the ones that are uncomfortable because now I'm not shucking and jiving.
You're right.
They love the jazz hands.
Well, I think a lot of people are afraid of politics. So when people tell me stick to politics, I go, well, then you stick to accounting and you stick to collecting garbage or whatever you do. I don't know what you do.
A lot of people don't like you to put the mirror on them. And when you shine the mirror on people and they have to question, am I that guy?
Yeah.
Am I racist?
Yeah.
I believe this when I should be believe. And they don't want to be looked in the mirror and go, am I the monster?
Right.
So, you know, they go, stick to comedy because I'm uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Well, good comedy makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Great comedy does. The concept with when you're saying white people think that you're racist is because when they hear black power, some white people hear black power, they equate it to white hate because that's what white power means. White power means black hate, but that's not what black power means at all.
But again, one of my favorite clips, and I watch it every now and then, is when Phil Donahue, I'm dating myself, but Farrakhan was on Phil Donahue, and there was a question-answer session. And basically, an older white lady stood up and said what you just said. I think what makes us nervous is we hear violence. And as cool as he could be, Farrakhan just said, historically, black people don't have violence towards you. It's the other way around. So how could you fear us when we have never done to you what you have done to us?
Yeah, but Farrakhan hates white people. So.
Well, wait a minute. I don't buy into the anti-Semite shit.
Yeah.
But a lot of what he says in terms of race in America has validity to it.
Well, you know,
throw away what don't work for you or throw away what you think is bullshit. Absolutely. But the whole buffet don't need to be thrown away because you don't like that dish.
And
you know
Aries, what you're saying is interesting because you could
people say the same thing about Trump, by the way. Just to let
you could
know.
apply
but there's a difference.
Yeah, but
there's
you
a clear-cut
you could
difference.
apply what he just said to just America as a whole. I think America as a whole says, we hate these guys, we hate those guys, they're trying to get nuclear, they're trying this. And you go, wait a minute, who started the wars of the past 50 years or whatever? I mean, a lot of it is America.
Right.
So exactly what you just said, the way that the white lady was like, we're nervous, and you go, wait a minute, you guys have been killing us. What are you nervous about?
Exactly.
Yeah. Same thing. Like Iran hasn't started a war in recent history except for the Iran-Iraq war, which is started by Saddam, right? So again, not to support the government. People get on me all the time. They go, "You support the government." I don't support the government of Iran at all. But what I'm saying is, if you look at it objectively, America's been starting wars, right? So it's interesting. It's just interesting to me to see other comedians like getting political a little bit. It's interesting because you kind of got to.
I have a clip on YouTube when I did an interview with Vlad TV, and I say in a nutshell, congratulations, white America. You guys have pulled off the greatest Jedi mind trick. This notion that black people are to be feared, that the black man is scary, is preposterous. When historically, white people, y'all have been the most dangerous motherfuckers on the planet. The Indians, slavery, 400 years, the assassination of our leaders, Medgar Evers, Martin Luther King, the church bombing of the 4 black girls at the Birmingham church, water hoses, dogs, lynchings, rape, injustice, the justice system. I can go on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Give me the history of when we've done any of that to y'all.
Right.
But this notion that, the black man, the boogeyman, clutch your purse. Historically, we just haven't been that.
Yeah.
But, and again, when you read the comments, the only people who get salty are the white folks who don't know the history.
Yeah.
And they think that life started when they were born.
Right.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think
this is full circle. It's like people don't like seeing themselves in a mirror, and we have an impressionist here.
Well, no, and it's great
There we
because
go.
this is actually great because now this is going to lend to your Barack Obama impression that you're perfecting.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to make this funny. I'm just I don't know, but yeah, that's
white people look in the mirror.
If everybody looks in the
pretty
mirror and you see yourself, You have to be able to see other people too.
Yeah.
You know,
life did not begin
I'll figure
when
it
you were
out.
born.
I'll figure it out. Yeah.
That's your Obama
Bernie.
mom?
Kind of
That's my
Bernie.
Obama.
Oh, I thought that was
Bernie. Okay.
Bernie.
Life did not
Little
begin
That's
when
how-
you were born.
Now I know it's Bernie because it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Your-
You're gonna do Bernie. Goes like this.
Obama was so bad. Aries thought it was
And his
Bernie
slap
Sanders.
brought
The
the
sound just
fucking
came
sound
back.
back.
Did you see that?
yeah,
Oh.
That was
because the
great.
slap.
There it was.
Weird.
Bernie.
Bernie brought back
The power of Bernie.
Yeah.
Vote Bernie 2020.
Yep.
If
This
he-
is Bernie
I
and
agree.
this is
nominated.
Obama.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Why don't you do more political commentary through your political impressions? You do President Obama. Do you do President Trump?
I didn't know anybody else. That
Nothing?
Was it. That was it.
I would think Trump would be the easy.
No.
Who's the easiest impression that you?
Well, let me backtrack a second. The only political impression I ever did, well, two guys back in the '80s, Ronald Reagan and Jesse Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
And then the only thing I do with Trump, as I basically compare him to Obama, and saying that he's so polar opposite.
Yeah.
Obama's sexy, handsome. Look at Donald Trump. This motherfucker got Game of Thrones face.
Yeah.
And I go, he always looks like he's about to call for somebody's execution. I don't like him. Kill him. So that was that.
There you
That's
go.
good.
That's
all
good.
you need.
That was
That's
it.
all
That
you
was
need.
it.
That was
That's
good.
all you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you now, as we get older, you and I, we're mature. Do you sit there and go, okay, I got to get, I got to work on a new whoever it is. I don't know who the new
Yeah,
guy,
Ronald Reagan just doesn't cut it anymore.
No, DJ Khaled or something.
Khaled.
Who are you, DJ Khaled? Like,
We
who,
the best.
who are you working on these
You know,
days?
again, no,
Like, do you do Drake?
no,
Migos.
no, and I can't do Migos because I come from an era when rap was quality, and I
Oh.
can't reduce myself to such garbage.
Sheesh. That's,
Me,
On the
that's
record.
me no-gos with Migos.
And again, this is why I envy Pharaoh. Pharaoh does Kevin Hart. Pharaoh does. I saw him recently trying to do Dave Chappelle, and it was pretty. Got a little work to do, but it was
Okay.
pretty spot on.
Oh, wow, okay.
So yeah, I don't want to force it, man. If I don't have it, I just don't force it.
So nobody new coming to you these days?
Maybe I gotta get back to the beginning. I used to watch TV and movies a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to read more.
Who are some other white dudes that you do? You do De Niro?
Not really. I do what everybody else does. The face.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
but
yeah.
not really. On my last special comedy Blueprint, I did Stallone.
Oh, okay.
I love hey, you Adrian. It's Duke. He's confused by Duke, Adrian. You don't see. Hey, yo, Mick. I gotta train you, yo, Mick. So I kind of fucked around.
He's got the new Rambo coming out.
Yes, Last
Yeah.
Blood.
Yeah, Last Blood.
Yeah. God,
Yeah.
he's holding on. Isn't
bringing
he?
it back.
Really.
Yeah.
He's holding on so much. His brother
Frank.
just dropped a documentary that's doing well
Oh, really?
about how he's a failure compared to.
Oh, really?
Exactly.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's hard
That's
being the
sad.
sibling
That would
of
be
a
sad.
famous.
And he's like, I tried, and he did music, and he did everything, and he kept coming up second.
Spend your
and-
brother's money, nigga.
Yeah.
Fall
What
back.
did you do as like growing up when you decided to do this? What did your parents? Because your mom was in jazz or something. Am I
Yeah,
right?
my mother, she's kind of was my Joe Jackson without the abuse. She was a jazz. She still is. Sings jazz and blues.
Wow.
She had a picture one time where she used to open up or perform with Lionel Hampton. For all you kids that are too young, great jazz legend
Yeah.
before he passed. And they went to go perform at the White House. So it was her, and you could see Reagan in the
Wow.
back. And she still tours certain parts of the world singing jazz and blues. So she kind of got me into it. She knew that I always wanted to be famous, and I had a knack for being funny. So yeah.
Did you have a singing voice ever? Did you ever think about singing like jazz style?
Man,
No.
dude, if you get a second go in this life, my fantasy, I want to sing. Like that I asked this question one time on social media. Ladies, what's sexier? A man who makes you laugh or a man that can sing? And comedy won.
Really?
Yeah. I would agree.
Women love to laugh.
Yeah,
Like,
comedy
I don't
wins
need to hear
except in
anyone
real
singing.
life, where the singer is just
Yeah, when-
smashing the comic's girl.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
that's
when every time you see the singer, like they're
Yeah.
showing up with another hot girl, like
Yeah.
how many hot girls is this
like
dude?
Chris Brown literally beat him
Yeah.
and still like
Oh,
chilling.
Yeah,
R.
he's-
Kelly,
R.
puts on
Kelly
bitches.
has people
Yeah.
right like R,
Yeah.
we love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Hilarious.
like Jamie Foxx can blow, man.
Yeah.
That clip on YouTube where he imitates Luther Vandross,
Yeah.
Babyface, and Prince singing the Brady Bunch.
Really?
You got to see that,
I gotta
dude.
see that.
But he can blow, man. I just go, I wish I could do that.
Do you do Jamie Foxx?
Not at all.
No.
I can, especially when I'm in the shower and the steam and the acoustics.
Yeah.
I can sing a little bit, but I ain't no singer. You know, because I do impressions, that allows me to a little bit. One of my favorite joints is Eddie Murphy on Delirious. And I don't know if a lot of people really pick this up. When he does Elvis singing, if you really listen to it, he's got it. I can't do it like Eddie, but life is full, I don't have a leash, and everybody. Like the way he hits those, that's remarkable, man. That's
he did drop a music album. A lot of people forget that.
Hey, Elvis.
Party
Hey,
all the
Elvis.
time.
Wait a minute.
Remember, hey, Elvis, want some lemonade?
Lemonade. But he hit those notes. He switched his voice.
Have you seen Delirious?
Yeah.
His whole bit is about how like Elvis couldn't act.
That was a lie,
He would just.
wasn't.
What color was the suit?
I don't fucking know.
You didn't see that,
red.
It was red.
Red.
You can't forget that.
But it's the whole bit. You know the bit where he goes. Elvis couldn't act, so they would make him sing everything. So
Elvis, we got to win this race. Like, oh my God,
it was so good.
Yeah, man.
But it's so inappropriate now. If you watched it lately,
there's no way that could
watch it
fly.
now. It wouldn't fly.
The F-bomb.
Well, none of it's appropriate.
That's what
but then again, Friends is also not appropriate.
A lot
I think
is not appropriate upon-
People need to go after Friends a little more. I've been watching
Not
Friends.
a single black person.
Forget the
In
not
New
a
York
single
City.
black person. They're making fun of black people. Monica has frizzy
And
hair
gay
one time.
people.
They're like, oh, look at Whitney Houston. Oh, look at
Are you
you.
serious?
What are you gonna do? You're gonna date blacks now? They're just really like. I'm like, wait, what? Monica was fat. You're so fat, Monica. Like, what? Wait.
This would not.
Them white folks are bold.
Paul Mooney's
Paul
back.
Mooney.
Never
Paul Mooney.
hidden how they feel about you.
So who's the easiest impression? Who's the person that's the easiest to impersonate?
I mean, anything where I don't have to hit a high range. So Shaq, Paul, DMX. Yeah, they're the easiest.
What impressions did you do to get Mad TV? What was that like?
You know, it was weird because you might remember this. How long you been doing stand-up?
21 years.
Okay, so you definitely. I came out in L.A. back when they was giving holding deals.
Yeah.
So for my first 5 years, I came here in 93. I went from network to network with a year holding deal, but never got anything done.
Yeah.
So my last deal ended up being with Foxx. And Mad TV was in its first season, but I couldn't do it because I was contracted to do some other shit somewhere else. But by the time they got to season 3, I ended up back at Foxx somehow, and I did a pilot with Aaron Spelling called Crosstown Traffic, which was kind of like Mod Squad. But long story short, that wasn't working out. But the president of the network was like, man, I really love this kid. I want to do something. So he called up the guys at Mad TV and went, look, you guys wanted him in season 1, right? Get him on now. It's on our network. Put him on. So they put me on in season 3. So I didn't really have to do anything.
That's a learning moment. You don't have to do anything to make it.
No.
Great news.
The learning moment is you hung in there for 5 years, a holding deal over and over and over again, and you never, especially in this business,
Right.
you know how many people have been on like 10 pilots, 20, even Chappelle, even Kevin Hart. A lot of these guys had shows that came and went.
Right.
Yeah.
And then 20 years later, you go, oh, wow.
Well, you know,
Overnight success,
the thing with
20
the
years.
holding deals, too, is, you know, they just paid you a shitload of money to take you off the market.
Yeah.
So no one else could get to you. So, again, my first 5 years, I hadn't done shit.
Yeah.
But before I was 21, or by the time I was 21, I had $1 million in my pocket. You know what I mean? So it was just like, fuck. But you go, the money's cool, but I want to do something. I want to play.
Yeah.
I want to ride the bench. I want to play.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was a good problem to have, I guess.
How about when you end up in Jerry Maguire? What was that like?
To this day, I've never worked on a movie of that budget.
Yeah.
And that caliber. Tom Cruise back then was, you know, #1.
Yeah.
That budget was $50 million.
Wow.
And you saw where the money went.
Yeah.
Because considering I've done movies where the budget, nigga, my Lexus Land Cruiser was my trailer.
Hilarious.
I got dressed in my car.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that was a good one.
That was good, right?
Yeah.
Can I tell you what I loved you in? Josie and the Pussycats.
Oh,
You were in Josie and the Pussycats?
And you
You
watched
played
Delirious?
Carson Daly.
doing a Bill Cosby.
Get out of
impression.
here.
Okay.
Because it's Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, but in the
Yeah.
film, which underrated.
Okay.
It's underrated.
And what do you play in that film?
You have a peak career Tara Reid. I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about this. As the drummer.
Great.
Before she goes off the rails. Perfect timing.
Uh-huh.
And then
Rosario
Rosario
Dawson.
Dawson. Incredible.
Love her.
Sexy as hell.
Love
Yes.
her.
So
Yeah.
like peak, well, all Rosario Dawson is peak Rosario Dawson, but so good. Alan Cumming, Parker Posey, fabulous, and you play Carson Daly.
Well, I played
Right?
Carson Daly's crazy half.
Right.
Sort of. It was a weird thing.
Yeah.
He was in the movie, but I was playing like a knockoff of him.
Hilarious.
And I go after one of the girls with a baseball bat or some shit like that.
Is this something I should watch? Can I watch this with the kids? Can I watch this with the kids?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's a kids movie,
yeah.
but it's actually a satire. So it's like,
No,
I
but-
love it as an adult, but it's a kids movie.
I'm going to watch that with my kids. My
Yeah.
daughter would love it,
Yeah.
as would my son.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, that's a good way to end this interview.
Oh, okay.
Well, you got a
Wow.
recommendation to watch Josie and the Pussycats with Aries Spears in there.
Yeah, why don't you watch the show where Aries Spears chases girls with bats with your kids?
Wow,
No, it's
come
fun.
on.
This is great.
It's fun.
Recommendation, Caitlyn.
It's fun. It's
Listen,
like a fun
I want to
fight.
before we go, I just want to make sure. Now you have a podcast. Let's
Yes.
plug your podcast. What's it called?
It's called Spears and Steinberg, a.k.a. The Jew and the Jerk, and it's available through iTunes, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, and SpearsBerg.com.
And you're constantly touring. How do people find you on social media?
AriesSpears.com.
That's ARIES.
Spears like Britney, SPEARS.com. And I'm on Instagram, I'm on Patreon, and also for any Cameo celebrity shout outs, go to Cameo. Check out my Cameo link. You're on that too, right?
Yeah, I'm on that. You guys got to get him. If you got birthdays coming up, if you got weddings, whatever,
divorces, funerals.
He'll do it as Jay-Z. He'll do it as what?
I just want to say, you know, your dad was an alcoholic and didn't love you. I know you're glad he's dead. Happy funeral. Boy.
Happy funeral.
I mean,
And this is why you gotta. I know you, nigga. That's
Yeah.
why you got
Yes,
these
I
by the
told
way.
you.
I just
Yes.
want to let you know.
Yeah, I told
That is
you.
why.
Yeah.
listen, man, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you
Thank
for
you, bro.
stopping by.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks, Aries.
My
It's been
man.
another episode of Back to School with Maz Jobrani. See you later.
Back to school. Yeah.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Back to School with Maz Jobrani. We hope you're enjoying it. We hope you're having fun. And we hope you're learning something. So make sure to let your friends know. Share it on iTunes. Share the clips from YouTube. Just get it out there. However you're listening, let your friends know to tune in to Back to School with Maz Jobrani.
Back to school. Yeah.